As promised, everybody, I have dragged DimWitt onto the program. Jerry, how are you?
I'm doing all right.
Yeah? I've known you. How long have I known you? I was trying to figure out the other day. How long have we met in what, like 2019?
I think.
Somewhere in there? Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Now, we did not serve together, but yeah, I know quite a bit about you because you and I have gotten to be good friends over the years, but just for the audience purpose here, yeah, give us a rundown on your military background. What'd you do? Where you come from? Talk to us.
In '86, I enlisted in the Missouri National Guard because I was getting thrown out of college, and I figured I had to do something. So I went to basic training at Fort. Yeah, what other reasons are there? I went to basic training at Fort Dix. Woohoo! And then I went to AIT at Fort Eustis, or Useless. And after that, I came back home, and went back to the National Guard. As soon as I got home, I walked in. I said, "I'm going active duty." I enjoyed the hell out of the training and just the environment, so I want to go active duty. So I had to wait like 2 or 3 months, and then I shipped active duty. Went to Fort Campbell. I was there from.
Now, what was your MOS, by the way? What was your?
I was a 67 Tango, utility tactical transport helicopter repair. Fancy word for saying a Blackhawk mechanic.
Okay, so you worked on the Warbirds.
I also, I worked on whirlybirds. As a mechanic, I went from being just a regular wrench turner to being a crew chief, and I was there at Fort Campbell from '86 to '90, and then I went to Second Infantry Division in Korea.
Okay.
And I was in Korea until I was supposed to be there January of '90 to January of '91. However, somebody decided to start a big dust up over in the desert, and I got stop lost. Yeah, I got stop lost, and I wound up staying there until May of '91.
May of '91. Now you were at Fort Campbell. That explains why you're not wearing a third ID shirt.
Well, got to represent, and I wasn't in the second. The second idiot division is not my home division. I'll always claim the 101st for but
yeah, sure.
Anyway. After I left the land of the morning calm, or whatever it is, Korea, I don't know, rising sun, morning calm, we call it the yellow wind. After we left there, I went to Fort Eustis, back to my AIT home, and I became an AIT instructor.
Okay.
And I was an instructor at the the Blackhawk Crew Chief, or Blackhawk Mechanic school there. 67 Tango School, let's see, from 91 to 93, at which time I got selected by the DA to go and be voluntold to be a Army recruiter.
Oh my
God! Army recruiter.
And I was in recruiting school. They did a dream. Hey, all you people that do wish lists whenever you enlist, I had to do a wish list whenever I became a recruiter.
Oh, okay.
And it based on how you rank in the class, and I was a second in the class, so I got my choice of where I was going, which I'd put down that I wanted to go to New Mexico because I had family that had been down there.
Right.
And I was like, oh, that's cool. And when I was a kid, we'd go visit them, and it was always a neat place to go visit. So I was like, yeah, let's go down there. So I told the wife, we're going to New Mexico, and the only thing she could picture was Bugs Bunny and Roadrunner cartoons.
Yeah, taking the left turn at Albuquerque. Looks. Right, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The desert you always see in the Bugs Bunny cartoons.
Right.
So I went down to New Mexico from 93 to 96, and that's when me and the Army decided to split the sheets.
Split the sheets. Don't let the doorknob hit you. So you ETS'd. And you became was it a firefighter, right? You became a firefighter for a long time.
When I got out, I came home. I went to work for my family's company. I worked there for, about 6 months. And then I volunteered with the local fire department here in town.
Okay. Now, so where's town? You're in
I'm in Southwest Missouri.
Southwest
dinky,
Missouri.
hole in the wall place, down by Springfield.
Now, do you call it Missouri or do you call it Missouri?
I call it Missouri. Always have. It ends with an I, so it has an E sound.
That's what I would think, but
yeah,
for some reason people get bent
Missouri.
if you go up there. Yeah,
yeah, but
they get really bent about it.
It's like we have a town here in town. It's called Nevada, not Nevada, Nevada,
and that's the way it's pronounced.
So, I mean, it's just we have Lebanon, so instead of Lebanon,
yeah,
so,
yeah. Now
anyway.
I'm drinking, by the way, the new riff, which now you've been watching the booze briefing ever since the beginning,
religiously.
And you remember when we did the Nutter Butters? I did them with this bottle, the new riff.
Yeah.
I think it's single barrel bourbon. Yeah, it's fantastic. So I figured, you know what, I liked it, so I'm going to go back and give it a pour. Now I noticed the Maker's Mark sign behind. I mean, the Buffalo Trace sign behind you there. Yeah, I take it you're a fan of Buffalo Trace. So says the Kentucky Wrangler.
This
now, do
is
they
my
send
shot
you?
Glass.
That's your. I'm down to one glass a day. Right?
Yeah. That
so
doctor
now,
asked him how much you drink a day. I take one shot.
Are you like a Buffalo ambassador or whatever they call them, or do you get all the swag from them?
I've been in contact with them, and I'm trying to get them to sponsor me to be an official taste tester and a product sampler. But
basically,
a
paid drunk.
Yeah, they have yet to get back with me for some reason. I think something about the email system. I don't know.
Maybe they're just behind the times. I heard all the distilleries are paying people to drink their stuff. That'd be great, wouldn't it?
They should. I mean, they should. As much as I've spent here, you would think they would.
Yeah. Now, if you had to pick, because 87 Tango, being a crew chief, you rose to the point where you're a crew chief, or 67. What did I say? 87. I'm trying to give you 20 more extra points on that, but yeah. So you're 67 Tango.
I'm thinking that's the year you graduated from high school.
67 or 87? I did. It was 87. I did graduate in 87. So, you got to that, you're doing that thing, and then you went into this recruiting thing. And now, if you had to go back and do one of those two things again, which would it be? Just one.
Without a question. Let's see. Work 6 days a week, or average 12 to 14 hours a day. Get to fly. Get to shoot from a flying helicopter. Get to do all the neat stuff that you do in aviation. Tough choice. I might have to go with the helicopter crew chief again. Unfortunately, I'd have to be on Chinooks now.
I'm not sure I could fit down the hatch of an M1. Yeah, the Sikorsky Skycrane. I'm not sure I could fit into the hatches on an M1. Maybe I could. I don't know, but I had no problem back in 87.
I have never been around any kind of armored. I don't know. I've never been inside one. Never been on one. I don't know. I mean, I've seen them.
Right.
But that's drive by and not drive by, but like in Korea, I would see them in the motor pool or I'd see them going down the road, but I have never actually been around them at all.
Now
never heard one fire.
We had an air cav, I guess you'd call it a squadron. I don't know, whatever. And they were out at Con Barracks. Yeah. But they had the we had Blackhawks. We still had some medevac Hueys.
Yeah, that was way back then.
Yeah, we had the Kiowas.
Out like in 80. Those 80,
yeah, we had the Kiowas.
I think was one of the last ones.
I think so.
Yeah, the Kiowas.
All the Apaches that we had, I think, were at Giebelstadt, where the Kentucky Wrangler was stationed. I think that's where all the Apaches. We had the Kiowas, the Cobras, and the Apaches, and a couple of medevac Hueys. But we had to run by them every day. Yeah, we did PT. We ran by the airstrip every day. We were 20 feet away from them, so we saw them all the time.
You did
we ran right.
No. You did something every day. What was that you said you did every day?
Yeah, PT. So as a
physical
ground
therapy?
pounder, physical therapy. Yes. That's the thing. 67 Tangos clearly they never heard the letters P and T together in the same sentence.
No, I mean we didn't do that kind of crap on a regular. We might I mean, they would try, especially
They
in
would
Korea.
try.
They would try to get us to do it, 3 days a week. But mission always comes first. So, it's not my fault that the flight is scheduled for this time. Sorry, and I happen to have one of the aircraft that flies all the time. So sorry.
Now you've heard a lot of my stories. You've read the books, of course. You've read the Joe's books about Germany and some of the crazy stuff we got up to over there.
Yeah.
And there's a lot in the books and in the stories too about the culture and just what was going on in the world and everything else. You never made it to Germany. I never made it to Korea. So what was it like in Korea? And compare that to what you've heard about duty stations back then in the Cold War in Germany.
What was it like in Korea? Well, it sucked. I can't say it sucked completely. The winters there sucked.
Yeah,
that's for sure. It was cold. It's very humid there. So in the wintertime, it was very cold. I mean, there's no cold like there is in Korea. I'm sorry. You can talk about German cold all you want, but in Korea, you get the cold and the moisture because you're surrounded by water basically on all three sides.
That's a good point. Yeah.
It is constantly nasty temperatures. Now, we had fun. We, go down range, which means go down in the village there off post. We did that on a pretty regular basis, like almost nightly or daily or, at least every other day. I didn't.
Now, where were you in Korea again? Was it Camp? You weren't at Camp Casey. What was it called again?
Camp Stanley.
Camp Stanley. Okay, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, north of Seoul, south of the DMZ.
Okay.
All right. So
now, how was the drinking there? I
never did any of the big in-country tours they always talked about, but
Okay.
Go ahead.
I said, how was the drinking there? Because in Germany, it's a country that's made for drinking, right? That's.
Korea is the home of the world's most consumed distilled spirit. Soju.
Don't say it. Oh.
Yeah. Devil
Jesus,
water.
unicorns, and the soju fairy. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, buddy. I'm here to tell you, soju.
But
that's why they
now.
Say
What about that? Was when
you
that was when you would go down to the ville, as you were saying, to go down to the village, right? You'd drink the. Now, what about on base? Because I know that a couple of our other buddies.
We had an NCO club.
Okay. Yeah.
I went there once. Me and a couple of buddies, we went up there, and our NCO. It was kind of a mixed NCO. Officers were allowed in, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
It wasn't segregated. Officers
that's not
here,
cool.
NCOs here.
Yeah. That's not cool.
It was kind of a general club, and now of course we couldn't go in the officers' club, but they could come into ours.
See, it's funny how it works that way, isn't it?
We were sitting. Me and a couple of buddies were sitting in the NCO club, and we had a lieutenant came in. He was going to be our buddy. He was going to pal around with us, and we got him smashed. And he whipped out his credit card. He's like, "Next round's on me." And I was like, "Well, just leave it here on the table." So that And every round after that, we'd put on his credit card.
What do you think that
I
bill was?
don't know how big the bill was. I don't know how big the bill was, but it had to have been sizable.
Wow. Now, was there drinking allowed on the base outside the club, like in your barracks? Because I've heard tale that you couldn't in some places in Korea, like if you were up on the DMZ.
We actually had the beer dispenser, the soda machine with it dispensed beer.
Yeah, we had those. Yeah, we had those as well.
Yeah,
but if you were up, I guess
you could go to the classic or the shopette. You could buy a bottle and bring it back to your room. As long as
so if you were up further north to the DMZ, our good friend Mr. Randall Joy Esquire says that there was no bueno up there. Yeah,
no bueno. You get north of basically north of Camp Casey, and you're not, which is just north of Stanley. It's like 13 miles north of Stanley. You get past that point, you're basically a dry camp.
It's a dry camp, yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
and they were. Legitimately, they were slightly afraid of starting another world war. I get it.
Yeah,
some drunk
that's all you need is a bunch of drunk GIs. Drunk GIs sitting in the tower shooting their 60s across.
Oh yeah, I'll bet I could hit that tree over there. That kind of stuff. And next
one
thing
shot,
you know,
one kill.
Yeah, I killed that tree. Yeah, thanks for starting the war. For firing that all back up again. Now you went to a recruiter, and to be honest with you, and you and I have talked a lot about the recruiting stuff over the years because I find it fascinating. Every Joe that you talk to, every vet, every Joe, they all say that basically it's a broken record. I got fucked by my recruiter. He screwed me over. He promised me, he told me all this stuff, and never happened. And when I first met you, back in 2018, 2019, whenever it was, I said, hey, so you're a recruiter. I said, hey, I got some questions for you, buddy. When I started talking. And I learned a lot about, the recruiting business, that side of the equation, which 99.9% of recruits would never, become a recruiter to know that process and know what goes into it. The single biggest, I'm gonna give you a chance to respond to this. The single biggest thing everybody always says is my guy lied to me. My recruiter, Staff Sergeant Snuffy, told me blah blah blah, fill in the blank, and he totally lied to me. What say you?
No, never happened. Never had. That is one of the things that is pounded into our head from day one of recruiting school. Do not lie. Because if you lie, it is a federal offense. Because the documents and forms that you're filling out are federal documents.
Right. So you're falsifying.
So if you're falsifying a federal document or falsifying the that's big no. You're talking Leavenworth or goodbye Army.
Of the percentage of people that claim that their recruiter lied to them, which is everybody. So they always say everybody says they lied. What percentage of those do you think actually might have a valid claim? None? Or
less than 0.1%.
Less than 0.1%.
I would say so, because recruiting is very strict. I mean, they follow not only every time that I would talk to someone, and I would put them in the Army. After they're all the paperwork that I have to fill out, which is a lot of paperwork.
Yeah.
All of that gets scrutinized. Not just by me. My station commander would look it over. And then my first sergeant would look it over. And then, on up and go to battalion. And it is kept on file for years.
Wow.
So if they do come back and say, well, Staff Sergeant Snuffy lied to me, well, let's look at your documents.
So they can fish it out. They can, because, you get your 201 file. You've got your And your recruiting contract in there. Yeah.
On the rare occasion someone did do something like that, they're back on the line. All right, they did their 3 years as an Army recruiter. They're back online driving tanks or playing grunt, flying whirly birds, and all of a sudden they get a CID comes down and says,
"Wow, CID,
we need to talk. We need to have a talk."
It's probably not a one-off if somebody did that. They'd probably doing it all the time to guys, if they were actually lying. But so because it doesn't happen near as often. Yeah.
I mean, the mission is so critical, and the stresses that we're put under to make mission, which means you have a quota of bodies you have to recruit every month. Yeah, so that mission is so critical, and the stresses on that are so great. Especially if a guy's missed mission once or twice, he's in the ringer, so he's going to do whatever he has to get the first sergeant and the sergeant major and everybody off of his back. That's where you get into the my recruiter lied to me aspect.
So this guy's an E5, E6 recruiter typically, and if he's sandbagging himself by lying, I would imagine his next NCOER is probably not going to be very favorable.
Oh, yeah. If he gets caught, I mean, like I said, you get caught lying to a recruit, you might as well just kiss your career goodbye.
I mean, it's an ethics complaint, right? Effectively, it'd be an ethics complaint, right? Yeah. I mean, that's so.
Yeah. Who's going to trust this guy? Like in my case, who's going to trust me with a $4.5 million helicopter if I have it in my records that I'm a liar?
Right. I can't even talk straight to a 17-year-old kid, who's trying to aspire to be a soldier, I'm going to sell him a bill of goods so I can, make my wife happy with an extra $100 or whatever, whatever it is. So you got a little bit of, I'm sure if you went over your mission, right? Like you got a little bit, kind of an incentive.
Yeah, we had a mission. And what happens is our mission, our badges, our recruiting badges, I don't have one handy, but our recruiting badges that we wore come in different levels.
It goes on your right pocket there, yeah.
And as you put in bodies, you get points for however, if you make mission, if your mission is 2 bodies, 2 certain category of persons, and you make that mission, you get so many points per person. And so, like, if I have a 2-person mission, let's say, I don't remember the points, let's say it's 50 points. So if I get 2 bodies that meet my mission goals, then I get 100 points that month. Then if I put in extras, I get more points based on those. Not as much, but I still get more points. And that's how we move up our badges. We go from, your basic recruiting badge, and then you get these sapphire stars that go in it, and then eventually you get a gold badge, and then you get diamond stars that go in it. And then eventually you wind up with a ring, which I never made a ring. But
I didn't either.
Yeah,
but then again, I didn't go to recruiting school. But you told me a couple of things about that, and this is for the benefit of everybody watching who hopefully is probably a vet. They're looking at this, taking notes, because like, oh, this recruiter's not like mine. So
every one of them's going to say, my recruiter lied to me. I don't care what that guy says. I'm here to tell you.
There were a lot of guys, and when I walked into Staff Sergeant Hill's office in Alabama, Phoenix City, Alabama, I walked in. The guy said, what do you want to do? Blah blah. Took the ASVAB, had my scores, and everything else. And I told him what I wanted to do. I don't even remember what my first couple of choices were. And he's like, well, there's a slot, and you got to wait for a slot, and like this, that, and the other. And I said, no, I really wanted to go as soon as I graduated. I wanted to take a month to go to the beach and chill, but then I wanted to go. And he said, well, okay, you can watch these videos. Now, you told me, the videos where you pick your MOS, they show you all these different things, the tank jumping the berm or whatever. You told me before. You and I were talking about this whole business about slots, and there were slots for certain MOSs, not most of them, but there were slots. But you also talked to me about the strategy involved sometimes with recruiters who would say, you know what, I might hang on. I've already made mission.
But it might be next month.
Yeah, but it might be next month, and that may or may not be true all the time.
No, not always. I mean, I'm saying, if I've already made my mission, and you walk in and I know, my mission is to recruit people that score a certain amount on the ASVAB test. And I know that you've already scored that. Well, I've already made my mission this month. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delay your entry until next month so that I've already got a leg up. I'm sandbagging you for a month. If you're used to playing spades, I'm sandbagging you for...
That's right, sandbagging, right, yeah. Yeah. Now, was spades? By the way, was spades big in Korea? Because it was big in Germany.
Korea,
you guys play
Fort
spades
Campbell,
a lot?
I mean, played it all the time.
Yeah.
And team spirit, there's really nothing. If you're not flying in team spirit, there's not a whole lot else to do. So we played a lot of spades.
And by the way, I noticed you
guys go double blind and all that kind of crap.
Right. Now, I noticed you sipping on a little something over there that didn't look like water. What are you drinking over there today on the booze briefing?
I am drinking Nectar of the Gods.
Nectar of the Gods. Okay.
Buffalo Trace.
Buffalo Trace.
Since you have yet to sample this on your show.
That's true. That's true, but only
I would
because...
do it for you. Plus, I'm kind of partial to it.
Yeah, and obviously you a guy because you've got the sign, but the flag behind you. But my Class 6 store, my preferred Class 6 store, Max's Bottle Shop, great for the craft distillery stuff, but they don't like playing that allocation game, with Buffalo Trace, and so they don't carry it. So I have to. I got to shop around a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, see, here, Buffalo Trace isn't allocated here, so I can buy it.
So you can just,
I can go to my local grocery store and buy it. I can go to Costco and buy it cheaper by the case if I want to.
Now, before we started recording, you were sipping on a little something extra, weren't you?
Yeah. This is a special something.
A special something.
Made by the same people, but Eagle Rare. People.
And it's so rare, I can't get it at Max's Bottle Shop. So
yeah, again, because you go to the wrong place.
Now, when I started the Nutter Butter Dunk Test,
this is allocated, by the way. Here,
Eagle Rare is allocated there. Okay, so when I started the Nutter Butter Dunk Test, again, the gold standard. All right, the gold standard. You've tried to dunk it. I think you were the one that suggested I dunk the Biscoffs.
Yeah.
Those little ginger snap type, I loved them both. In fact, the Biscoffs are probably better than the Nutter Butters.
Airline cookies is what I call them.
Yeah, airline cookies. Now, you are the only person that I know of that's tried it that absolutely does not care for it.
Oh, it's disgusting.
It's disgusting. However, you suggested that I try to dunk the Nilla Wafers, a.k.a. Nilla Wafers. And I said, you've got, all right, so you've got some there too. I'm going to dunk one.
If you're going to gross everybody out, I'm going to gross everybody out.
Well, all right, so now, do you want to do this at the same time? Do you want me to do it first? Do you want to go for it? Because I'm probably going to like it. I don't know if it'll fall apart, though. These things are probably...
I don't know about that, dude. I don't know.
All right, I'll try it first here. This is New Riff, which paired very well with the Nutter Butters. Man, that is good. Oh my God, that's so good. It brings out, it literally brings out the vanilla. Yeah.
Nah, dude.
You might like these, man.
Here we go.
All right. I got to see you dunk it. I'm not going to believe you if you don't do it. Okay, there you go.
Shake. Always shake it. Only shake it a few times. If you shake it too many times, you're playing with it.
That's right. All right.
Okay, I'll tell you this. It is not as bad as the Biscoffs or the Nutter Butters, but I don't know as I would sit there and dunk more than one.
But that's not a no.
It's not bad. It's not as bad. I will get you that it is not as bad.
Oh, that's a first.
You're right.
That's a first.
You're right. It does. Well, okay, I'll tell you what. I'm going to do another one just so we can verify.
Yeah, I've already got another one ready. It brings out the taste. It really brings out the vanilla. I don't think you let them stay too long in there.
Any more than that, you're playing with it.
That's fantastic.
I wouldn't go for fantastic.
I think something's wrong with your palate.
Semi-tolerable. It is semi-tolerable.
All right, so there's hope for you.
Maybe.
Well, you and I could probably talk for...
Those two are all I will ever do in my life. I guarantee that.
Yeah, we'll be something else. We'll be dunking like sardines or something. You probably like that weird stuff. Well, I don't know.
Something else, but the cookies, no, I'm not... No.
So, all right. No. So, you and I could probably talk, and we have many hours at a time talked about the recruiting game and kind of what went on. I mean, you should really write a book like The Psychology of Military Recruiting. You once described it as the hardest sales job in the world because you're selling a product that half the people that you're talking to don't, their families don't want them to buy. Right. Yeah. So it's a really tough gig. But we got to wrap it up, unfortunately. But we're going to start the wrap-up here with something I call the after-action 10.
The after-action 10.
And the after-action 10 is just, it's just 10 rapid-fire questions. Don't overthink it. Throw out the first thing that comes to your mind, Jerry.
Bourbon.
All right? Yes,
Bourbon.
The answer is 42. Yes. All right, first one up. The only rule I'll say is you can pause and take a sip as you contemplate your answer. All right. Number one, what is one word that best describes the service member that you were?
Efficient.
Efficient. Okay, I like that. Number two, what smell, sound, or taste instantly takes you back to the military?
Wet tent canvas.
That's a good one. That's probably going to be a popular answer to this, I think.
Yeah.
What was the best? Go ahead.
I've got a story about that if you want later.
Yeah, please. No, throw it out.
Well, the fire department that I worked for, one of the officers had this brilliant idea. They went and they contacted a local used military surplus dealer, bought a bunch of GP mediums, and had them cut into tarps because we use tarps in the fire service, protect the fire scene and that kind of stuff. Well, you would take after the fire, you would take that, you would try to let it dry out. But then you would fold it up, and we have a particular way of folding it. You'd fold it up,
Right.
stuff it in your engine or your truck, and then next shift, 3 days or 2 days later, you go out there and you got to inspect it. You open up that compartment, and all that would hit you is that smell of wet canvas.
Ah, yes.
And it was like, boom, instant flashbacks to the military.
It takes you right back, doesn't it? And you had the reminder all the time, right? Because when you're in the fire department, you use that all the time.
Yeah, 24 on, 48 off, yeah.
Yeah, all right. So what was the best or worst advice an NCO officer or fellow service member ever gave you? Best or worst?
The best advice I ever got is do your job like your life depends on it, because it does.
Because it does. Especially in your line. Well, in all, pretty much most lines of work, certainly in combat arms or support
the entire
units,
military. I mean, you think about it, that's what your job, your life depends on how well you do your job.
What was the dumbest piece of military advice you ever received?
Try soju, it's great.
I may have to change the wording of that question. But yeah, that's a good one. What is the most ridiculous thing either you or someone that you know got away with while they were in the military?
Ooh, that's a good question.
You don't have to mention names, no names. You know, if you don't.
I mean, ridiculous or stupid?
It could be one and the same.
I mean, okay, yours truly. In aviation, we have 7-ton articulated crane or 7-ton cranes that we would use for like taking the rotor heads off, transmissions off, that kind of stuff out on the flight line. And you could crab walk them, turn the front wheels and the rear wheels, and you could crab walk it at an angle, which was fun. I mean, you get out there and you crab walk it. I was doing something, I don't know what I was doing, but I had dropped the outriggers down and I was screwing around, driving around, and we had this cinder block building out behind the hangar that we used to store POL products and that kind of crap in. I took out the corner of that building with an outrigger. Now what is an outrigger for those that don't know? An outrigger is on a crane. You drop an outrigger is just a stabilizing arm that drops down, and it hits the ground and it lifts you up a little bit and puts the weight on those four corners instead of on your tires. Right. So how big of a section did you take arms, out? I dropped them down for some reason. I was driving around and smacked right into the building with it. And did you get in trouble for it? I guess you got away with it. I didn't tell anybody about it. Oh, that's the part we were waiting for. Okay, there you go. Yeah, later on, whenever they were like, okay, what happened to this building? Oh, I don't know. I have no clue. I don't know. Fortunately, according to Google Earth, that building does not exist anymore, so I'm out. I'm off the hook. Well, you probably helped a little bit in that process too. So. No, I mean, I didn't. It wasn't. I broke a couple of the cinder blocks out, yeah, but I mean, it wasn't that bad. So what military phrase, cliche, or expression can you not shake or never fails to piss you off when you hear it? I'm not really sure what it is you're talking about on that. But there are some things out there that I do that... Now, unask my AO. Double knife. I use unask my AO a lot. That's one of my favorites. Yeah, unask my AO. I found, by the way, if you say that to a civilian, if you say unask my AO, they have no idea what you're talking about, but it sounds so intimidating. And clusterfuck. Another one is clusterfuck. Clusterfuck's a classic. Have no idea what clusterfuck is. No. And which leads me to my next question. What is your favorite curse word, insult, or creatively assembled string of profanity that you picked up in the service? Probably the same answer. Just fuck. I mean, 99.9%. Yeah, that's true. Fuck it. Fuck this. Fuck that. Fuck you. The fucking it's the way vehicle. That fucking guy. Yeah, everything. It's a noun, a verb, an adverb. It's everything. Right? It encompasses the entire vocabulary. I may have to change that question to add, with the exception of fuck. You can't say fuck. Right? Because that's 90%. It's the big one, right? Here's one for you, Jerry. That'd be tough.
Well, yeah, it would be. What drink best represents or reminds you of your time in the military, and why?
Soju.
Soju, Korea.
Yeah, I've had soju. I've bought soju since I've been out, and I drink it, especially whenever I'm drinking soju and eating kimchi.
Now you got me hooked on the kimchi
right.
stuff. Yeah, that's
I tell
pretty
you, man,
good stuff.
kimchi's some good stuff. Everybody turns their
It
nose
really
up.
is.
It's right at cabbage. Well,
This is going to sound bad, but I like it better than sauerkraut that we got in Germany, because they put all the spices and flavors in the kimchi.
Yeah, it's definitely got spices and flavors in it.
Yeah.
But then again, I like the
good.
vinegar. I like the vinegar of sauerkraut, so
And it's pretty good too. If you could spend one more night drinking with anyone from your military past, who would it be, and where would you go, and why? Talk to me.
Rob Yates.
Rob Yates. Tell me about Rob.
Rob Yates. Rob Yates was my best friend or my roommate for a while I was at Fort Campbell. And after I got sent off and I started my career doing my thing here, there, 100 miles away, we lost track of each other. And after I got out, the old brain bucket started kicking in. It's like, well, let me try and get a hold of some of these guys, that I used to know. And I tried to contact Rob. I couldn't get a hold of him. But through his brother, I found out, because his brother was friends with him. And then I was able to do, back then you could do the Facebook chase down, and you could go here, the 7 degrees of separation back then.
Yeah.
And I found out that he had a wife out in Colorado. And I was like, cool. So I contacted her, and I found out that Rob had died in an avalanche after I got out. And after he got out, obviously. And it was an ordeal. I mean, it took 1 month to find his body after the avalanche. But they did find him, But, yeah, I would definitely be contacting Rob Yates.
This is the first time we've done the After Action 10, but I have a feeling that theme is going to be a recurring one with that particular question. I think the more years you are away from your service, the more the likelihood is, that's going to be the case. And finally, Jerry, when you report to that final formation in the sky, what do you hope the first sergeant says to you before he assigns you a bunk?
You have absolution for all your misdeeds.
So you want the clean slate.
There you go.
I like it. Cheers, brother. And that's been
care,
Jerry
bro.
Witt. Jerry, we got it. We'll have to have you come back on maybe later in another episode. We'll talk more about the recruiting stuff and some more stories from Korea. Of course, I know you've got plenty of them like that. But the next episode of the Booze Briefing, we're going to do the cover reveal, which you've seen. You've actually seen kind of the preview of it. And, hopefully that will be the next episode, will be the cover reveal, and then maybe the next episode.
It's the best cover
that.
so far, I'll tell you that. It is by far the best cover you've come up with.
Hell yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you for saying that. I think it's meaningful. It's meaningful to me. I think anybody that was in Schweinfurt at Com Barracks would find it meaningful. But, I appreciate you saying that. So, you know what, Jerry? In fact, this is going to be a new tradition. I'm going to allow the guests to say the final send-off.
I don't know what to say, dude.
Rampage, we Pierce.
I don't say Rampage. I was never in the third ID.
Well, then say yours.
All right. Wings of the Eagle. And bottoms up.
Bottoms up. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.
Dismissed.